Hi Zenny Yogis and welcome to Zenny Shorts. Today we'll be focusing on back flexibility and back bends. So this is a condensed yoga class, about 20 minutes, where we'll only be focusing on back bend. So first of all, we're going to mobilize like we always do. I'm going to do this in a seated position. I'm going to turn my head to the right and to the left. Right, left, right, left, and to the center. Looking up and down, up, down, to the center, opposite hand to opposite ear, and I'm just turning my head down towards my shoulder, keeping this shoulder down. Release, opposite, and down. We're going to start with sun salutations to get us a bit warmer. The only thing you'll need for today's class is any kind of strap. We're going to do our sun salutations. Today we're going to do sun salutation C or classic with a bit of a variation which is more focused on hip and back flexibility. So we're going to start to the front of the mat, leaving a bit of space as always in front of the feet. Hands in prayer mudra in front of you, up above the head. Slight back bend, only slightly because we're warming up. And I'm folding forward with my back nice and rounded. Holding this forward fold, Uttanasana. My legs are soft, my knees are soft. I'm placing my hands down, bending the knees to place the hands down. And I'm stepping back with my left leg, placing my knee down on the mat and placing my foot flat. And I'm coming up in Anjaneyasana or crescent moon, knee behind the toes, and I'm pushing forward with my hips, working the hip flexors. Hands in prayer mudra in front of me, up above my head, and I'm adding a slight back bend. You'll feel the stretch in the front of this leg, the back leg. So do the movement mindfully. We're warming up, so you don't have to really stretch into it. Hands on your mat, tuck the back foot, straighten that leg. Other foot joins it, we're in a plank. I'm not going into chaturanga like we always do. I'm placing my knees on the mat and I'm diving down with my chest. And I'm pressing up in Bhujangasana or Cobra, breathing into that lower back. Shoulders back, away from my ears, got my elbows tucked in, and I've got my pelvis on the mat. Now I'm tucking my toes, I'm lifting, and I'm lifting all the way up into downward facing dog, adjusting my feet. Heels pressed down, hips pulled up to the ceiling. I've got my back straight and I'm rotating my shoulders outward, hiding the armpits. Now I'm stepping forward with the left leg so that I have Anjaneyasana or crescent moon to the other side. Hands above the head, slight back bend for that hip flexor. Hands on the mat, tuck that foot, bring it forward, and we come all the way up. Hands in prayer mudra. You can pause the video, you can do these many as you'd like. I normally see that 2 and 3 gets me warmed up. You feel it in your head will start warming up. We're going to start now with our supine and prone poses directly. It's basically all we're going to be doing. Going to round the back, tailbone pushes down, and your back is nice and rounded as you pull your belly button up. This is the cat pose. From the cat, we're going into the cow. Tailbone goes up, belly button goes down, shoulders pulled back, chin up, relax your jaw. And again, we're rounding into cat. Tailbone goes up, belly button down, again into cow. Very important with all back bends. And I'm going to show it to you now when we do the camel pose. Let's round again. Is that whenever you do a back bend, visualize in your mind, slowly going to come up, visualize that you are creating a big C shape, an arch with your back. You are not creating a hinge that does this. The block in position, the block is not supposed to fall to the floor. Hold this for a few breaths or about 30 seconds, and we're going to counter stretch it. Counter stretching that part of the back, we're going into that cat pose again, and we're leaning back towards our heels with our tailbone down into the mat. Again, you can feel where you need to counter stretch. So focus and breathe into that area. From cat, cow and camel, I'm going to start focusing again on my hips. So I've placed my right foot to the front, back leg flat, and I'm pushing down with my hips forward, but my hips are squared like two headlights shining in that direction. Arms up above my head, and I'm doing a back bend, thinking of my back as that big arch. And we come down. From there, other foot goes forward, the left, and I'm bending back. And I come back. Again, the right foot goes to the front. We're going to do a twisted lunge. Opposite hand to the front foot goes to the mat. Back foot lifts. Opposite hand grabs that foot. And you open your chest towards your bent knee. This is called the twisted lunge. You are welcome to put something under the back knee. If it feels like there's a lot of pressure, put a cushion or a block or something behind that knee. Slowly release. Bringing the other leg to the front. And I'm twisting that lunge to the other side. Now, let's sit back a bit. Now we've worked on the hips and a bit on the back. So I've got my forearms on my mat, and we're going to go into the half cobra or the sphinx. So for this one, I'm pulling my shoulders back and I've got my navel on the mat. It's very important that you're not lifting the belly button. Belly button is on the mat. I'm pulling back with my elbows towards my pelvis, and I'm pulling up with my pelvis towards my fingers on the mat. So you keep there and you pull into it. You'll definitely feel a stretch if you're doing this right. Shoulders down. Breathe into it. So if you do this stretch, you'll definitely feel the stretch not as low as we did with the previous stretches like cobra or cat, cow. It's higher up in your back. Slowly release. Have a bit of a lie down. Now I've got my hands to my sides and I'm pressing up in cobra. So now I've got a higher cobra. Pelvis is still on the mat, so I don't generally straighten my arms. You can, but sometimes I need to tuck my elbows in. You can give the cobra a few slight twists towards the one side, the other side. You can place the one hand more towards the center as you reach back. Try and grab hold of that leg. Sometimes you can reach all the way to the other leg. I can probably only do that to the one side. So I'm more flexible to the one side of my back. I think that might be the case with a lot of people. So I need to bend towards my right leg, then I can twist further. Back to cobra. And slowly come down, and I'm pushing back to counter stretch it again with my back rounded into child's pose, pushing down with my tailbone into my mat. There, from here, we're gonna go up with the hips above your knees, so that's a straight line. I'm reaching forward with my hands and I'm trying to push my chest down to the mat. Now we're stretching the upper end of the back with your shoulders. So you've done the middle, the lower back, and now we're higher up. You're going to feel it in the shoulders opening. Breathe into it. If you need to place a block under the chest or under your chin, do so. For a deeper stretch, if you easily go to the ground, place 2 blocks under your hands to lift your hands up and press past it. From the puppy dog we just did, I'm going to round my back again. You can get up, cross your arms, grab onto the back of the legs and pull up, rounding the top of your back. So you're counter stretching the upper back stretch we just did with the puppy dog. And release. You're going to interlace your fingers in the back and you're going to pull up with your fingers in that direction, up with the legs, keeping them straight. You're engaging your glutes and you're working with your back muscles to try and pull up as high as you can for 5 deep breaths. 2 more. And slowly release. From the locust, we're going to go into King Cobra. So I'm pressing up, getting that round C in my back. So I'm getting into the normal cobra first. I've got my knees a bit wider than hip width apart before taking the feet up. But like I said, I'm adjusting my upper body, trying to lift myself as high as I can, round the back, and then my feet goes up. And as you breathe into it, you sink into it. Sorry for my heavy breathing, that's what I always sound like when I do Cobra. I'm rounding the back again for a counter stretch. Next one is the tiger pose. We're on all fours. I'm lifting the one leg, grabbing it with the opposite hand. Focus on a spot because this is also a balancing pose. And I pull, breathing into my back. I want my back to work just as hard as my hips. This is called the tiger. Hands down, legs down, tabletop again, opposite foot lifts, opposite hand grabs, and I'm pulling up. Slowly release. Woo, well done. Next one we'll be doing is the bow pose. We're going to do the bow and the upside down bow. So, for the bow, again my knees are a bit wider than hip width. I'm up with my feet, reaching back with my hands, grabbing hold of my shins. Now when you pull up into bow, breathe into it. It's difficult to breathe, it's not the most comfortable pose. Try and take 5 deep breaths, but also try and straighten your legs as you do this. By straightening your legs, you're pulling your back even more to the bend. So I'm doing this, and now I'm trying to straighten the legs. So I'm pushing out with my legs. Slowly release. Well done. From the bow, we're going to line our backs. Feet a bit wider than hip width apart. Actually aligned with the hips just to the outside. We're going to lift our pelvis towards the sky. And I'm going to try and reach towards my heels. Tucking my shoulders in and really pushing up. You can interlace your fingers as well. And breathe 5 deep breaths and continue to push up. And down, and counter stretch it by just holding onto your shins and pulling your legs to your chest. From here, we're going to be doing the wheel. Find someone to spot you if you're not that comfortable with the wheel, or do the bridge again. Placing my hands next to my head, feet not too wide, and I'm going to press up, but trying to get my shoulders in that direction of the wall, pushing up, chest to the wall, to try and get as close as possible with aligning my shoulders to my wrists. Last deep breath. Slowly release. Slowly and carefully release. Counter stretch. Knees to chest. Now we're going to go back into our pigeon poses. Taking my right leg to the front first. And to make sure that I don't fall over onto that side, I'm taking a block that I found in the garden, putting it under my bum. Immediately I've got my hips squared. I'm using my strap now for this one as well. You want to bring your foot in, around the ankle, through the toes, and it's towards the back. And I've got my hips squared to the front, and I'm walking my hands up towards my toes, opening the chest, trying to round the back instead of hinging. And breathe again. Like other stretches, you'll feel to the one side may be stronger. I'm starting with my weak side first. My head is aimed forward. Now I'm releasing it a bit so I can take my head back. I'm opening the strap to either side, and I'm pulling my foot towards my head. Slowly release, all the way down. Ooh, counter stretch. Counter stretch it, and if you want to roll it, you roll it. Now I'm placing my other foot to the front. Got my left leg to the front. I've got my little block under my bum. Lifting the foot. Getting my strap around the heel through the toes. Getting that knee behind me. to make sure that I've got my hips squared to the front, walking my hands down towards my toes, opening my chest. I always try and hold it for 5 deep breaths. These back bends are a bit more difficult to hold. Now I'm opening the strap again, and I'm going to pull my foot down to my head, looking back. And slowly release. Slowly come out of it. Counter stretch. Now you get why I work on hip flexibility with the back bends. Sometimes I see improvement in my back bends without doing any back bends. I get improvement because I've been working on my splits. From there, give it like a counter stretch, because we're going to go down into King Cobra again and see if we can get a bit further. So I'm pressing up as high as I can. For now I've got my pelvis lifted to get into position, but then as I bring my feet up and I go back with my head, the pelvis is pushed towards my mat. Really breathe into it. Slowly release. Again, my heavy breathing. I think it's more than normal because it's not easy to breathe in a hectic back bend. Rounding my back. From there, we're going to get on our backs and we're just going to do a spinal twist before we are finished. Got my arms to the sides. I'm letting my knees fall to the one side and I'm looking at the opposite hand. Knees up and to the other side. Knees up. I'm bringing them into my chest again just for one nice, like a round bend. And now we are lengthening the legs. Palms up. Slowly I'm coming up into an easy position. You can always pause the video and do a nice shavasana. Nice music, essential oils, whatever you want to use. I'm sitting up straight, shoulders back. Breathing into my back, thanking my back for all the hard work it's been doing. Hands in prayer mudra. And I want to thank every person who joined me today. And may you do this video consistently and see improvement in your back bends. Namaste.